Hi, so my first article is using flipped classroom and virtual field trips to engage students. Student engagement in the classroom is critical for effective learning. To enhance student engagement, several teaching approaches can be used, including the flipped classroom approach. In a typical university classroom, students hear a lecture and take notes. They go home, read papers, take quizzes, do projects, and other activities outside of the class. In the flipped classroom, instead of simply receiving information from the instructor during class, students review the information pertaining to concepts outside of class and come to class prepared to discuss those. Studies have shown that flipped classroom approach can help improve student learning. The flipped classroom approach can be enhanced by having students bring their laptops, smartphone, tablets, or other devices to class where they can be an integral part of in-class activities such as reviewing the materials, sharing information with other students, and searching for new resources on the internet. Field trips play an important role, especially in horticulture courses, but because of logistics and timing or weather, sometimes real life situations happen and you're not able to do that. So instructors, they face, constraints. An alternative is the virtual field trip, which is computer-based multimedia simulation of actual field trips. These field trips can be standalone and used in place of actual field trips and help students prepare ahead of an actual field trip, or be used to focus in classroom discussions after an actual field trip is finished. The objective of this article that I'm talking about is to discuss how implementing a flipped classroom approach and virtual field trips were used to foster students' engagement in an undergraduate tropical plant and soil science course at the University of Hawaii in 2008. So this class again was a 4-hour class, 1-hour lecture and 3-hour lab period each week. And the flipped classroom approach was implemented to introduce more student-centered active learning to supplement lectures. Students read and viewed assigned videos, publications, websites, and other resources outside of class. Then the students came into small groups and discussed about what they had read and viewed, answered assigned questions, and reported answers to the class. In-class quizzes and assignments were used to ensure that the students were actually reading the materials outside of class. And after forming groups of 2 or 4 students, they were given separate set of questions to discuss and answer in class. Students discussed the materials they had viewed and read, answered the assigned questions, and reported to the class via short presentations. Small group discussions and in-class activities provided for each student an opportunity to speak and share their personal experiences. And an example they've given in this is that in 2016 there were 2 students from the U.S. mainland who grew up on family farm that was greater than 1,000 acres. That's in contrast with coffee and papaya farms in Hawaii, which are usually only about 6 acres. So as the semester progressed, students appeared more poised when speaking with groups and in front of the class, and they learned about different areas of the United States. The flipping classroom approach was gradually introduced to the course over several years and changed the course from a lecture to one with more active learning and small group discussions. Initially, learning was a primary teaching method, and later this flipping classroom approach was periodically introduced by assigning students to view outside the class relevant videos, websites, and reading materials. It also reduced the number of lectures for the instructor and timing to plan for the class. More time was developed at relevant in-class activities to enhance student learning. Since first taught in 1997, this program has had live traditional field trips in its 3-hour lab session. However, they indicated the students were not satisfied with the course simply because other courses duplicated this. So this person says, on my first teaching of the course in 2008, to address the duplication of visits, different sites were selected for actual field trips, and the use of virtual field trips was implemented. The intent of virtual field trip assignment was for each student to design an oral presentation as if the whole class was going on the field trip. So the student chose the commercial farm or nursery, interviewed the owner, and took pictures and learned about the operation so that he or she could take it back to the entire class. When students create their own virtual field trips, their attention and learning is focused on intricate aspects and how it's presented.